Hey gang, for those of you who enjoy QF, a podcast about Howard Stern, and would like to donate to us just via PayPal, you can, using the email address johnnythegreek21@gmail.com. You can check the link in the description for the spelling, and it's also here on the graphic. And if you'd like to do more in terms of donations or subscriptions, you can use our Patreon account and subscribe via the Black Kluge level, and you can receive our weekly content that we're putting only on Patreon. It's exclusive for that platform. And anything over $5 is just gravy, guys. We love you. Thank you so much.
Oh, he doesn't?
Dude, Howard, I've always wanted to know one thing. Did you or did you not get Robin Givens?
I don't know. All right, here, look.
Oh!
No, I'm saying I would never.
What do you mean
you don't know?
No, I didn't.
I don't know.
No, I did not.
You'd have to know.
Right.
But if someone wants to fix themselves,
Different thing.
I am telling you that it is possible. There is no such thing as genetic homosexuality. It's fixable. I know the guy who can fix it. He doesn't even know he can fix it.
So he hasn't said this is a cure for this problem.
No. But I am telling you, homosexuality is fixable. Hello. Do you have a big dick? Did you go into therapy? You've never been to a psychiatrist.
It does. I like that. I like to hear that guys are whacking off.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in a wig and a purse. I do that in my personal life.
No.
No. I'm just like a happy-go-lucky guy.
And all this is about having fun.
That's right.
Kat, what do you do for a living? And it's not one of those, oh, who are you? But what do you do for a living?
Really not.
You do therapy?
No.
Never?
I've dabbled.
I'm there every day.
My daughter's 15. All her friends are like consumed with who's gay and who isn't. Yeah, that's like a big thing.
That's the new thing.
Yeah, right. They think I'm gay. Everyone's gay.
Which it was.
You come over, Tzvi. They named me Tzvi. First of all, fuck you. My name is Howard.
Why can't you just be Howard? Why do you have to have a separate
They had to give you a Hebrew name.
How about 4-day work weeks?
Nah. The audience gets mad at me if I take a week off. I can't take Fridays off.
I think the audience would rather have
How
you
mad
do 4
are you
days
going to
than no
be?
days.
Yeah, if you're not there at all.
Yeah.
Well, it's better not to be there. I believe radio is a habitual kind of medium that people wake up in the morning, they go to work, and they want to hear their favorite disc jockey.
Oh, absolutely.
And if you're not there on Fridays, you are doing a disservice to the audience, and you're not doing your job.
I don't think I'm interested in the 5-day-a-week schedule.
Oh.
It
came with that?
Yeah. Well, terrestrial radio, you got to do a 5-day-a-week schedule. Satellite's different.
Because I drive into Manhattan every day and I listen to you, okay? And if you cut out the bitching, it probably would be about an hour of broadcast.
You're right. And you want to know something? Okay.
So
now, how long are you going to keep the hair?
I'm going to keep the hair as long as it keeps on top of my head. What do you mean?
There's a point in time that it's...
Is my hair too long, you think?
When you get a certain age, I think that the hair...
You think it looks silly?
Yeah.
You do?
Really? I do.
So this is Radamark?
Yes.
Okay. Friend of the aliens.
Yes,
right.
Why are you people bugging my time with 4 hours of faggotism? I mean, Jesus Christ, man. Can't you come up with another solution?
Welcome, everybody, to QF, a podcast about Howard Stern. I'm your host, Fillmore, a.k.a. Jim Fix, and with me is Sam. How are you, Sammy?
I'm so excited for this episode.
Okay, well, we decided to put this one together. Sammy doesn't usually do breakdowns anymore, but we're trying to kind of get more up to speed because we're way behind, and that's due to quite a few reasons. But either way, we're going to push ahead. This episode's called "How You Say Friend of the Court." And we're gonna. We don't normally go after friends of the court on the show unless they're, it's part of the show or what have you. But in the wake of the Alec Baldwin shooting,
unless you kill a person.
Yeah, well, this isn't Gianni Russo shooting a guy at his bar's nightclub in Vegas, and it's justifiable homicide. This case is the reason why we're tying it in is because Alec Baldwin is basically the David Spade / Joan Rivers of the acting set that gets on the Howard Stern show, and he's a perennial guest at least 2 times a year.
Yeah, he, especially since since the Marcy era has been ushered in, he has been a guest that is nonstop. He's always coming in and has nothing to say.
Yeah, and whatever you feel, and obviously we'll put out a disclaimer first. We feel awful for the cinematographer and her family, because that's like an awful situation. There's just no way. I'm sure Alec feels like shit for having done this, having been responsible for it, but not responsible necessarily in the way that it goes through the story. We'll explain. Most people following the story already know it's a whole mess.
And you know who feels even worse?
Yeah.
Is his wife, because now she can't post on social media like, I don't know, 30 times a day with hallway selfies and nonstop Spanish memes and just mental illness personified.
Well, this is the thing that really disturbs me more than anything. So I'm going to give a plug to the YouTube channel Hilarious Grift.
Oh God, we love the Hilaria Baldwin's Reddit page, which is now 14,000 strong since that Spanish grift took off. They post videos of that Hilarious grift, and I think they're from that Pepino Nation on over there.
Pepino apparently is cucumber in Spanish, guys, so hence the name. I just took a guess at
Very
it. Very
clever.
Yeah. Well, the grift, it was uncovered earlier this year. Was it February when it happened?
It was no, it was right after the New Year. So
okay.
Yeah, everybody was at home, and it was going right, I think, into January 1st, and somebody named Lenny Briscoe, which is the play on Law and Order, uncovered that she had been faking Spanish identity for 10 years. And my mouth hit the floor. I was like, wait, Alec Baldwin's wife isn't Spanish?
Right.
What? The lady who talks like this, Alec, she's not Spanish. So I went down the rabbit hole, and sure as shit, this lady is from Boston, Mass, Beacon Hills, worth millions of dollars, her family. Not a lick of Spanish.
That part didn't fascinate me as much as the aftermath. And so one of the videos, hold on. One of the videos is called Alec Baldwin Unhinged. Let me see if I can play some of this. What I found most fascinating was the whole complete denial of this didn't happen. All of a sudden the story was, I spent time in Spain and I feel comfortable with, both languages, and I'm, comfortable with all this. If you're going to go down that road, people in show business lie about their age. They lie about injuries to get work. They lie about the plastic surgery they've had done. This isn't a surprising thing. The surprising thing was, number one, how stupid was he not to understand that she was full of shit all those years? And number two, the fact that they doubled down and said, like, they didn't do a mea culpa and say, sorry, I'm busted.
Oh, exactly. Well, we speculate that they went into this together as some sort of contract, knowing she wasn't Spanish, but he was think about this. 10 years ago, Alec Baldwin was known as an angry guy who berated his daughter on a voicemail and he was also known for his racial slurs, his homophobia slurs. So what does he need? He needs some young immigrant wife to get away with the shit that he could get away with. Some Zen Spanish yoga baby.
Right.
And so
she's gonna stick her head up her ass on doing these yoga poses and on Instagram and get all kinds of media coverage just for looking cute and
it made him seem more cultured. Like,
maybe. Now
I'm European adjacent. Like, what a dummy.
Well, I mean, I love his acting, but I think he's one of the most pompous people I've ever heard speak into a microphone. And I say this with no shortage of fucking bluster in my own life, but this is what we do. We're making a podcast, so sorry if I have a little confidence here, guys, where this is concerned. But when you hear him speak about any issues, you feel like, just fucking sell me the movie. I'll watch the movie and shut your fucking mouth afterwards. He wasn't a Brando. Brando was very well educated on issues that he was interested in, particularly Native American causes and what have you.
Yeah, Alec Baldwin is a know-it-all. He's not selling me on anything. He turns me instantly off to the project.
Right.
Like,
exactly.
I know more than you do about everything. That doesn't sell me on anything.
No,
Thank you. Before we start this, if you were to get busted on a national level of this story that had such interest at such a high rate of social media interest, where it was like trending on days on Twitter and you knew it was blowing up, why in God's name would you look like such a fright night on social media in nutcracker pajamas? I mean, this girl is always,
I didn't even notice that.
I mean, what in God's name? It is like a fucking nightmare, like the Sugar Plum Fairy nightmare. What is happening?
Is that a metaphor because she's a ball buster? I don't know.
I don't know.
So anyway, this is a short video. Hilaria claims she's very insecure about her made-up accent that didn't even have to exist. The titles are just fantastic.
We'll ask sometimes about how I speak. I am that person that if I've been speaking a lot of Spanish, I, tend to mix them. And if I'm speaking more English, or doing a lot of English, then I mix that. It's one of those things that's always been I've been a little insecure about over different times. And, when I try to work, I try to enunciate a little bit more. But if I get nervous or upset.
Oh, gamuti su putana. Fuck you.
Oh, that's right, guys.
This.
I forgot to tell you. Fillmore speaks fluent Greek. For any of our listeners that don't know. Pretty much.
I'm about 85%. I mean, I don't have any practice. I'm living in Asia now 20 years, and I don't have any practice because my wife's a fucking Irish. She learned a couple key stock phrases.
Your wife has an accent. Could you imagine if that? All of this is so amazing to me that she thinks that she's going to pull this off with an excuse like that. I tend to enunciate, so that means you speak more with better diction. You stupid asshole. What are you talking about?
I know a few people in my life that are master linguists. They will pick up a language like you have no knowledge. Like you just can't believe they're doing this so well, and yet they still have the root accent of whatever they grew up speaking. Like one of them's British, so everything's through a British accent. And it is funny to hear them speaking Japanese in a British accent, to hear them speaking like German in a British accent. But it doesn't leave you. I didn't follow her well enough, but had I seen all these regular videos, I would have been asking this question about her accent ages ago.
See, I was fooled when she's been Alec Baldwin's wife for all these years. Of course, I thought she was Spanish because why lie about it? But I didn't know she wasn't not Spanish because she always had this little bit of an Alec to her voice, and it sounded like different. And she had this like weird, not American sounding voice. So I thought, oh yeah, of course, she's from Spain. Like what? Well, because who the fuck would talk like that?
I want her to sound like Louis Guzman. I want her to sound like, hey, Changa, but Changa just fucking around, man.
She sounded, there was this one video she did with, because she got an extra job. So Alec Baldwin, much like Beth Stern, for some reason, what's up with that? Where these guys in Hollywood who are high up get these grift wives, and then they get them a job at Extra. So
you have to follow.
She had an
Yeah, you have to follow the chain. Well, there's somebody they know that's like a expediter of, look, you give my useless piece of shit grift wife or my beard, you give her some job, I'll give you more coverage of this and that, I'll get you into this event, I will do interviews for you, whatever you want, like so many a year. That's pretty much how I imagine it works.
I just think of like all these college kids who, spend all this money at journalism school. And then you look at your TV and you see somebody like Beth Stern or Hilaria Baldwin on your television. And you're thinking, God damn it.
Right. And you can just hear the wind whistling through their fucking heads. And you go, What did I study? What I study all this for? Edward R. Murrow is fucking rolling in his grave like a fucking lamb roast at Easter Sunday. Fuck.
Or something, then I start to mix the two. And again, this is something that I've always been a little bit insecure about, but I've decided maybe 2021 we will get over that, and I'm definitely addressing it very openly right now.
You're so brave, Hilaria.
Jesus, she sounds like it's like she's a bomb survivor and she's trying to get out of, this is such a horrible tragedy.
I'm going to get over that this year because I got really busted. So as you can tell, I'm talking in my baby voice really, really quickly. So.
Yeah, you're right. It's almost like Disney animation voice.
But this idea that I try to speak more clearly in each language. I think that that's something that I should try to do. And, but sometimes I'm good at it. It's not something that I'm like playing at. So I want that to be very, very, very clear.
Oh my fucking Lord.
I'm very, very, very confused. So none of this is clear. What?
Right. Well, I'm going to play the next clip, which is my wife grew up in Spain.
Oh, the good old days. You're never going to have them back, you two. This woman made a book, this Hilaria, called The Living Clearly Method. This might be worse than Oh My Dog by Beth Stern.
What about the Vegucation of Robin?
Oh, God, they're all three such charming pieces of literature. Yeah. So Beth, obviously, just ripped off dog advice from a bunch of other people and dashed it together in a book. Now, this woman wrote The Living Clearly Method. And this advice got these people aged about 15 years in 7. They look like hell. The two of them look like hell.
Is that deliberate? Do you think? I mean, obviously, like stress ages you, I know, but the non-attempt to cover that aging, is that meant to make them look more human? Do you think, like consciously?
No, she has tried to cover it. She got plastic surgery because she had hooded eyelids, so she got something done with her eyes to fix that. She's got major Botox, major everything on her face. So, and she just looks like she has an eating disorder. She has the same thing with Beth where they don't eat, it looks like.
Meanwhile, Alec Baldwin looks like Sir Alec Guinness now. I mean, like some of those Instagram videos that you showed me, and to be fair, the one I clipped was like the first 17 seconds where he looks like he just woke up. He hasn't even done a couple bumps to get him through the fucking morning, and that's not fair. Like I should play the whole thing, but he looks like shit. Well, you shouldn't in show business. That's something that makes me laugh. 50 years ago, 60 years ago, the stars would never in a million years have allowed themselves to be filmed looking like warmed over fucking rigot.
I think social media was the worst thing to happen, maybe to society, but to stars especially, because people used to look forward to those, Barbara Walters interviews, those Diane Sawyer interviews. You know, it was special. That's why nobody watches these award shows anymore or thinks that any of those primetime things are special, because these people can't get enough of themselves. They film themselves all day long, and especially these two.
Yeah, you used to have delayed gratification. If someone was going on Carson or someone was appearing on Letterman, you'd read it in TV Guide and you say, oh, now, appearing such and such, and you'd look forward to it. Now it's like, you can have as much as you want anytime you want, like a kid fucking swimming in what's that stuff called? Nutella.
Oh God. And I don't want it. And I feel terrible after I eat it.
Well, there you go. So it's a little too much of everything. And in this case anyway, so I think, just oversaturation and overexposure. And that, what do they say? Familiarity breeds contempt. And it's certainly never more apparent than with these two. So this is a video of him explaining her roots.
How did they get you to do this?
My wife grew up in Spain and in the United States and spent many years here when she was a child. And her parents live here now.
In Mallorca.
In Mallorca.
Okay. What I love about this is she's studying his face to make sure he's getting the fucking bullshit story right while he's talking.
You and I have done this so long about
Stern
looking at Howard, how he lies.
Oh, yeah.
His face is so tight. His jaw is so clenched. Her jaw is so clenched. These two are the worst liars. In hindsight, rewatching this clip back, it's like, oh my God, they're both so tense. They're like, okay, look at me, look at him, look at her. It's so bad.
Well, so I guess my question is this, and it would be to all the pepinos in that particular Reddit thread as well. He's so is he in on it back then, and he knows she's full of shit? Okay, and hence why he was so vociferously, well, not really vociferously, but let's say he's so consistent defending her after the fact. When most guys, if they were taken, he's in a rock and a hard place. If he kicks her to the curb, then he's saying, "Oh fuck, she completely fooled me. It's a total grift."
Right.
And the reason to keep defending her is because your ego won't allow you to admit that you're full of shit, or he knew about it. Like, did he know about it and he doesn't want to be outed as an idiot? Or, did he not know it and he wants to cover up that, you know what I mean?
I think they went in this, me personally, I think they did this together. That's my personal opinion. But there are people on the thread who think maybe he didn't know everything, like just how little she had to do with Spain, and then eventually figured it out. And then just said, I'm not even going to bother asking more questions, and nobody's going to find out anyway.
I think she completely she submerged her bullshit in Blumpkins and blowjobs and just like stooped over the fucking kitchen stove daily, and he got blindsided by pussy and said, I'll buy all this. I don't give a fuck. I want to be lied to. I'm an actor.
Yeah. The other part, though, is that he started stumping for her so hard that it was bizarre. Like, how Howard really went on a mission to make Beth famous?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
He did the same thing. So that's another part where we think that Howard and Beth are in a contractual obligation marriage.
Absolutely.
Well, we totally, which marriage obviously is a contractual obligation, but no love there.
Right.
And I think that this is similar, where it's
so it's just whitewashing. Like, I'm not a homophobe. I got a wife that bends over and her got an amazing ass and she does yoga poses and downward facing asshole and all this shit.
Yeah, I'm going to give her a bunch of kids and she can have some extra jobs, and I'll promote her Instagram page as much as I can and get her some guest appearances on Rachel Ray and some other crap. Right.
And I won't look like an out of touch old curmudgeon homophobe, all this stuff that, all the negative aspects of his personality. Because he's got a press agent. He's got an agent saying, you want gigs, you got to lighten your fucking profile a little bit.
Yeah, he got remember he had an MSNBC show for 5 seconds, and then he got that taken away from him because he called a reporter a faggot. Remember?
Yeah. I mean, anyway, so here's a little bit more of that.
And her parents, someone that they know approached them. Tell me, there was some.
This is no different than that fucking Ed Bradley 60 Minutes piece with Howard and Beth, where he goes, oh, hold on. This is a good story. Is it a good story? And they're looking at each other and they're going, hold on. Page 6. And if I lost you now, like trying to memorize the script and just doing a horrendous job at it.
And just Beth looking at him and Ed saying, how about you tell the story? No, I love when he does this because I can't remember and do it right.
Exactly. Totally.
Wait. What's his last name?
Montoy Puy.
Yeah, right. Puy was approached about me doing a film, and I said yes. I was very excited to come and do the film.
Oh my Lord. Okay, so there's that. The next clip. This is, I think, as far as I know, this one is post discovery of the fact that she's a grifter, and it's called Alec Baldwin Unhinged. Is that correct? This is his defense.
Yeah, and so thank you to all the pepinos on Reddit for all your beautiful work.
Okay, this next clip is called Alec Baldwin Unhinged, and it was something he put on his own. He's got his own Instagram, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. I didn't know that Instagram could be that long form. I thought it was only like a 90-second or less.
I don't know how he did this, but yeah, I think you can post. I don't know. I have never posted anything that long, but.
Mm-hmm. Well, either way, what I love in this is the body language. So we'll start playing a little of it. A little bit existential angst. My wife's just been uncovered as a complete fraud.
This is like a father that just found out his 12-year-old came home knocked up. I mean,
yeah.
This is like really bad day face.
Yeah.
I mean, look at him.
Doesn't look at the camera.
I thought I would leave a quickie here. I do have a few people, maybe not any worth bothering with, but I do have a few people who go at me about defending people.
He is completely befuddled. There's no script in front of him. It's not a part. It's him. And his wife has been outed as a complete, utter fraud. And he hates that he has to do this. You can tell it him. You can tell he's just, you know.
The thing is, they don't have to do this. Like, I don't believe for 5 seconds that 2 PR people thought, hey, Hilaria, you were busted. You know those nutcracker jammies you have? Yeah, pull those out. Don't brush your hair. Yeah, rip those fake T-ties out. Have them hanging low. And just riff. See how that goes.
It's like handing a drummer a guitar. It's like solo.
I mean, what the fuck? And now we got this guy who's doing the same thing.
Yes. And so, this is, we're going to play a little more.
That are accused of crimes and have been accused of crimes over the period of many years. And they say to me, how can you defend this person who is guilty of this whole situation? And my response is that I'm not defending someone who is guilty of something.
This is very much in line with the I saw an article in the Post. My daughter, she says she did date men successfully, and said, "Dad, are you sick?" I don't know. I get along with my daughters. I have my fucking daughters are fucking amazing.
Yeah, for anybody who doesn't listen to this podcast regularly, it's Howard Stern got busted for having a horrible relationship with his daughter, Emily Stern. And the New York Post did an expose on this after it was uncovered that she was doing a show in, you can better describe this film, Laura.
Oh, yeah. She did an interview with the New York Post with this author, Dory Lewack. The interviewer must have had her on tape because there was no lawsuit. There's no libelous lawsuit or anything. And whenever Howard decides he doesn't like something that's, true, that may or may not be true, he'll sue. But in this case, he never did. And she called him a narcissist. She said, I thought he was this way. Then he married a model. Growing up was very unhealthy, and he just got on the defensive, and he was fumbling.
I can't date. I have trouble dating men.
His work put me off of dating men.
You think?
I know. Emily called me. She goes, Dad, I talked to the New York Post, and I don't know what happened to this article.
Right.
And I said, I go, it's all right. I read it. She goes, the headline was that my daughter's afraid to date. Meanwhile, she was just in a relationship. I don't know what. I said, what's that about? She goes, I don't even know.
So how did they get that?
I don't know. But my daughter is fantastic. My 3 daughters are fucking amazing. And I'm very blessed. I have such a great relationship with them. And I really do.
Hey, guys, just breaking this up for the sake of keeping this on YouTube.
And what can I tell you? I'm very supportive of everything they're doing. And, we see each other all the time. And I don't know. I didn't think that article was very reflective of my relationship with her. Neither did she. But
that, I guess, wouldn't sell papers.
No, but it's fine. I mean, no, my daughter does date men, and very successfully. And she's just a terrific kid. And, the article didn't really reflect our relationship, but whatever.
Just think of the audio version of Chicken on Hot Plates. And it was just unbelievable. And this is almost exactly like that, except he's clearly, I don't know, 6, 7 shots deep and decides,
I'm choosing to defend someone who has not been proven guilty of something. And last I checked, there's a profound difference. You know, there are people who say that this particular person, Mr. A, is guilty of the following crime. I don't want to drag up all the details because
details sell the story, Alec. That's the big problem here. That's the little conundrum.
Here's the thing. When somebody is not guilty of something, you don't choose these words so carefully to dance around saying, hey, this person didn't do that. This is a very... I mean, listen to how he's dressing up this defense to just say, hey, she is Spanish or she grew up in Spain. So you know that this is a lie because listen to how he's coloring this. It sounds worse. You stupid idiot.
I'll never forget the there's a scene in the movie Armed and Dangerous where the judge is just telling Eugene Levy's representing this fucking Charles Manson type character, and he's got a swastika tattooed on his forehead, and and he goes up to the judge, he says he's been accused of all these things, and he just shrugs his shoulders and goes, he didn't mean it, Your Honor. He's supposed to dress it all up. Hey, we'll play a little more.
This is a waste of my time and yours, no doubt. But
yeah, I'm having fun.
That, someone's guilty of that crime. They did this horrible thing, and you're defending them. I'm going, well, the fact that I'm defending them should indicate to you that I don't believe that they are guilty of that crime. I don't believe that.
Never once made eye contact with the lens, and that's what if you really want to prove to people that you have confidence in what you're saying, you address them. Not the window, not the armrest, not the finger that's holding the fucking phone up. None of that.
Brushing your hair.
Big clearing of the throat, which is always a giveaway.
That's making me very confident. I know. I was like watching some Senate hearings today, and I was like, whoa, this looks like a lie every time.
Sam showed me a screen cap of this, and this was within days of the shooting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so leading up to this was just an immense amount of spiraling on Hilaria's part.
Well, you mentioned that it was all the Instagram stuff that she was doing that sort of indicated they were having fights or whatever.
They were having fights. She was being erratic. She was dragging the kids around the city like dirty, unwashed, very manic.
Okay, so this is just a 17-second intro into a longer clip that was on Instagram that I couldn't get on because I couldn't fucking figure out my Instagram password. But the title is "Who Thought It Was a Good Idea to Give This Man a Loaded Gun?"
Hello?
Oh my God! I hate to laugh, but Jesus Christ!
I thought it was on a loop. I thought it was someone fucking around.
Okay, so he's clearly. I don't care. I'm speculating he's not sober whatsoever.
I don't know. He looks like he's woken up and just literally rolled out of bed. He did the wake and shake, and then you decided to put this on there, and I never didn't see the full context of the video, so I'm not going to add this as some kind of proof of wrongdoing or whatever, because I have a couple articles lined up here. Either way, I guess the whole thing in the Reddit section is to indicate that there were problems with them, like him and Hilaria, going into this, so he wasn't in the greatest shape physically or mentally, and they're doing this production in New Mexico because and there's all kinds of problems with the union of the production crew. They weren't getting paid on time. They're being told they have to stay 50 miles away because it was cheaper to send them in some fucking Motel 6 in Albuquerque or wherever the fuck. Go ahead.
Yeah, and so he's away, and now also, guys, they have 6 kids. So I forgot the Hilarion him, and then he's got an older one with Kim Basinger.
Yep.
So when the Spanish thing happened, by the way, they all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a month after this, a baby appeared. She wasn't pregnant. So we were like, what the fuck? They just had a baby 5 months ago. So we're doing the math in our heads and we're like, wait, she just had a baby 5 months ago. There's a new baby in the house. Where did this baby come from? This ultra elite couple just, DoorDash themselves a baby girl because Hilaria had to have a baby girl on top of the 5 kids she already barely takes care of well. So now they have 6 kids. He's out of town filming a movie, and she's not out 1 night a week, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, 6 nights a week on Instagram out. 6. And she's got nobody at home but nannies. So this is what we're going into. And they were fighting on Instagram too.
Yeah, and it was I saw some of the clips and I go, Jesus Christ. I mean, I understand Hollywood's stupidity and I understand couples, reality is not always reality, but to have your dirty linen out there like that, when you're not, there's no need for it. You can, their paparazzi can get pictures, blind items can be read, whatever, they can be written about you, but you don't have to address them. And they've chosen to sort of show their dirty laundry
to everyone.
To everyone, for what purpose? I mean, just to do a little, sleight of hand and go, oh, it's not about this, it's about this. It's there's no problem here. This is going on. Hey guys, it's almost like, look, here's the TV. Turn on the TV, distract yourself from whatever's actually really happening that's important in life. So
and then her career, obviously all the sponsors dropped her, so she's not sponsoring toys or food or whatever crap on her Instagram anymore. So what does he do? He pays for her to have her own podcast with him called What's One More Podcast. So like some vanity podcast project, which is hemorrhaging money. So that decided to come to an end of a season too, while this was also happening. So it was this combination of things that were just sliding downhill.
So first of all, before we get into the article from The Guardian, which is the most recent updated article, because there's loads of stuff on out there to read, but they usually do a good job of condensing things up to date. On 10/22, NT released this blind. There are 2 actors who are set to go public about the on-set tragedy. And we'll discuss the heavy use of coke and other stimulants to get as much done each day as possible. Quote, Rust. Rust, and again, in parentheses, explains what the articles are linking to. And then on the same day, another blind. Probably a deal was struck. The actor wouldn't tell the world his wife is really American, and she wouldn't tell the world he is really 5 years older than he pretends to be. Alec Baldwin.
I believe that.
Hillary Baldwin.
I believe that.
It says he was born in 1958, and it makes sense. But to shave off 5 years, what's the point when you're 63 or 68?
I don't know. He's never going to see those kids' college graduation.
Jesus, no. And what's that expression? Men are more likely to die before their wives, but they're more willing to die. He just might be. So this is from The Guardian, and this is from, let's see, 27th of October, yesterday. So, or today for you. Rust shooting. Film's assistant director admits gun was not thoroughly checked. In an affidavit, Dave Halls told investigators he should have checked all the rounds, as officials confirmed gun contained live bullets. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of in-depth information about Dave Halls, because I looked him up. He has been nothing but an assistant second director for most of his career. And what are they? Basically, it's when the assistant director has too many things to take care of, they hire someone to be a lower rank assistant director to handle it's like a showrunner, like showrunner after showrunner after showrunner, but for a movie set. So they have to wrangle stuff, basically. They're coordinating.
So he was like a Grillo up until then?
Pretty much. And so he has some acting credits. I think he was in The Matrix Reloaded, but we're talking now in ancient history in film terms, and he's been doing scrub work, basically assistant, second assistant director, that kind of stuff. He's not been in a position where he should have been doing any of this. He's not an armorer.
That it sounds like that was the theme of this entire film is
right.
These people shouldn't have been in these positions whatsoever.
Right. It's like giving a baker who moonlights as a fucking firefighter. You know what I mean? Like there's different skill sets here, guys. I'm not saying the guy wasn't able to do certain things, but there's clear criminal what's it called? Criminal negligence going on as a result of this.
Give him his first assistant director scene on like a romantic comedy, not a gun movie.
So in this, it says officials confirmed on Wednesday that live bullets, including the round it is believed killed cinematographer Hanya Hutchins and injured director Joel Souza, were found on the set of the movie Rust last week after actor Alec Baldwin fired a gun during rehearsal. It also emerged that the .45 caliber Colt, which has been described by law enforcement as a legit antique gun, not a prop gun, was not thoroughly checked before being given to Baldwin, who fired the lead bullet, according to officials in a new court filing. Now, what's happening is basically Baldwin is going to say, they told me it was fine, and he's saying now, and his testimony so far is saying, even though we don't have transcripts, I was told it was fine, but at the same time, almost every single weapons expert has gone online that has, been willing to talk about it and said, you never point at someone. Through the magic of editing, they make it look like you're pointing it at the person.
Even Whoopi Goldberg on The View has said, because in Sister Act they use guns, and she said the weapons expert would be on the set. They would say cold gun. They would look at it first, then walk it over to the actor. Then, even though they just looked at it, would open it again in front of the actor, show them, then hand it to the actor.
Mm-hmm. It really is like it's like about so many different functions. It's almost the way the military guys that have to disassemble their guns and then reassemble them for inspection, that kind of thing, that it's a protocol. Like they have to be done that way because that's the way it's done. And so they decided we're going to go non-union to push this budget of this shit low-budget film, which you could understand if it was a bunch of no-name actors, and mostly it is. But he's one of the producers, and that may mean anything. That may mean he just got the money people together. It could mean, well, it's just a perk. It doesn't mean anything. He's not really a producer, because a lot of times the title means nothing.
Now, the interesting thing about this and the fact that he's low budgeting it and he's even working is so funny, because his dream when he married Hilaria, and he's talking about his engagement, was making her into a mogul. And so he wanted to make her into a wellness, fitness mogul. And he used to push and plug this. And you'll notice this in a lot of his videos with her in the beginning of their engagement and first few years of marriage, until she popped out way too many kids, was, I'm going to retire and she's going to take care of me. And all those dreams were dashed. And now he is scrambling to pay for all these kids. She can't work because now she's been canceled. And he's now having to, scrub together some shitty low budget film.
Which, a lot of times these actors do this because it's, they just have to be busy. He wants to probably get the fuck out of the house. I wouldn't blame him, but at the same time,
he's doing game shows.
Yeah, I mean, so it says here, filmmakers showed complacency about safety on set, the sheriff said. Initial inquiries had led the authorities to believe. He added that his investigators believe they have also recovered the spent shell casing from the bullet that was fired from the gun. So it was a single round, a live round, that hit both the cinematographer and the director. Mendoza also said that officials recovered 600 items of evidence, including 3 firearms and approximately 500 rounds of ammo from the set of the Desert Western. What the fuck are you doing with that much ammunition? Are you fighting off the Median cartel?
Honestly, this also drives me crazy because Alec Baldwin was always the first person after a tragedy to be the loudest mouth on Twitter, mocking people, calling them dumb, everything, anti-gun, anti-this, anti-that. You're on a movie set with 500 rounds of ammunition, you fucking idiot. What are you doing? Live ammunition?
The two examples I thought of when I heard the story was, first of all, The Twilight Zone, the John Landis film, where he literally berated people, said, is there anyone who's not a chicken shit who's willing to fucking shoot this scene? He went, I think he even got non-union workers to do the late night shooting. And as a result, 2 kids and Vic Morrow were fucking killed by a stupid accident that should have been done by stunt people. It shouldn't have been done, period. And he got away with manslaughter. He got away with, but his career died anyway. If it wasn't for Eddie Murphy, John Landis never would have got another job. He ended up getting a couple big gigs, but only because of Eddie Murphy. And the other one was Brandon Lee in The Crow.
Yeah.
Now when that happened, basically it was there was a shell casing in the muzzle. And from what I understand, because I read the reading when it happened at the time, they said it wasn't cleared properly, so that when the blank went, there was enough force behind it to send the shell casing through him, and it left like a quarter-shaped hole going through his abdomen. And probably even if he had survived, he would never have walked again, because I believe it went through his spine.
Oh my God.
So. Yeah, horrendous. Let's see. 2 of the guns were non-functional. The third one, handed to Baldwin on the assumption it was safe, was a .45 Colt style real antique gun. No need to have that. No fucking need.
So we have, if you had a set that was safe, supposedly, you would have had the armorer. Somebody had to have put the prop master who put that on the cart, the armorer who was supposed to check the prop. So 2 checkpoints, and then you should have had somebody who handed him the gun check it before it was put in his hands again. None of those things happened.
Well, it says here the more interviews need to be conducted, including a possible additional interview with Baldwin, whom the sheriff described as cooperative.
Possible? It should be fuck yes.
He'll be in there just they'll have that light on him interrogating him at this point. Mendoza also confirmed that his office was investigating reports of informal incidents of target practice having taken place on or near the set before the incident, and rumors of crew members drinking the night before. I think the industry has had a record recently of being safe. I think that there was some complacency on the set. You think? And I think there are some safety issues that need to be addressed by the industry and possibly the state of New Mexico. Baldwin was cross-drawing the revolver from its holster while Hanya Hutchins, the film's director of photography, and Sousa were standing by checking camera angles. So basically, it was a complete accident that it did go off, and why he was doing it in the range of motion where they would be in that range is beyond me. Why wouldn't you be aiming at a wall or somewhere away from people? That's just fucking arrogance and stupidity.
Where did I read it? I forgot where I read this. I think it was in the Reddit thread. What if it was a scene where he was pointing it at his head? Do you think he would have checked I bet you he would have checked the gun then.
Well, that's it. I mean, that's what happened to John Eric Hexum. He held it up to his head, the gun that went off and ultimately killed him. Baldwin, who had been pointing the gun at the camera, was told by crew that the gun was a cold gun, meaning the gun contained no ammo and was safe to use. So there will be criminal charges against the guy who handed them the gun and said it was okay for sure. I think Baldwin's probably going to get away with. Well, first of all, his reputation is going to go it's in the mud now, but he's going to have to pay civil. Like either his production company, whatever that is, and the other production companies, they're going to be settling for millions and millions.
You know what disgusted me about this whole thing? Not only did the people in Hollywood trip over themselves to not really say anything about the hilarious scandal, which is such rank hypocrisy for the people who were all over, they jump all over people who dress in inappropriate Halloween costumes that supposedly are cultural appropriation. Look at this woman. They didn't say basically dick about this and then, just whitewash that away. Now this happens, and they're tripping over themselves to defend him when he was the producer on this. So everybody that's hired on this is Alec. This is Alec's doing.
Well, this is they want to save because they want everybody. This thing, one hand washes the other in Hollywood. They all want to get jobs later on. And who do you save? Who's the fall guy? The fall guy is going to be everybody else. They're going to try to make it that way. But I don't believe he really is going to have much of a career left after this anyway. It's just you don't recover from this.
I just was like sitting there watching, not that I'm the biggest Megyn Kelly fan or anything. I don't even know. I think she does a podcast now, but she made some comment about Halloween costumes and, they fired her from her NBC show, and everybody was chirping about that for weeks and had nothing nice to say. Meanwhile, Alec Baldwin's wife has been impersonating a Spanish woman for a decade, and everybody thought it was fine. Nobody had really anything to say about it.
Do we edit out this thing about Megyn Kelly before people just decide that you're going to be?
No, we can edit that out.
Okay, remind me to edit that out. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So this. It says it could take many weeks for the decisions to be made on whether or not they're going to be criminal charges. There was Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, which was an armorer, but she was we'll say she was a scrub. She had not a lot of experience. And Dave Halls, this guy, the aforementioned guy that had handled it before he had fired it. It went through 2 fucking sets of hands, and no one knew there was a fucking live round. And then a third, Alec Baldwin's.
She was a nepotism hire. Her father was a famous armorist. I don't know what you call that.
Armorist, correct. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
First time.
And so she's a nepotism hire. And I guess Nicolas Cage worked with her in August and lost it on her. He worked with her on a film in August, and she was blowing off rounds without announcing it on set. And I guess he lost his flipping mind on that Hannah Gutierrez-Reed.
And it's not just anybody that can get hired for a Nicolas Cage movie. You have to be in the phone book. So what the rest of this goes on. Okay. Just hours before the fatal shooting, several crew members had walked out, unhappy about pay and working conditions, as well as safety fears, court papers said. Halls had been the subject of internal complaint on a previous film set. Maggie Gull, a prop maker and licensed pyrotechnician, said she had raised concern about his conduct on set with the executive producers of Hulu's Into the Dark TV series in 2019, where some crew members were scared about their safety. He has yet to comment. This situation is not about Dave Halls. It's in no way one person's fault. There's loads of fault. And there's lots of blame that's going to be passed around. And as much as they're going to want to make it non-criminal for Alec Baldwin, this is something that's going to be with them. And I do feel sympathy for him only in the sense of you're responsible for killing a person that you didn't mean to. And it's no different than if he got into a car, did a stunt himself, and just killed a lighting technician.
It's something that's going to stay with him forever. And unfortunately, he has a histrionic personality, narcissistic personality disorder wife that he can't, it's not like he's going to have the support at home where he has some loving person that he can go home to. So it's really sad.
Yeah,
but it's a sadness of his own making.
We're not doing this as like comeuppance for Alec Baldwin, because like I said, I'm a fan of his movies for years and stuff. A lot of his movies. My wife loved him on 30 Rock. She loved watching him. He's really talented, but you don't really. You lose sympathy for people as a result of the fact that if you're union or if you're any kind of blue collar person, you know exactly what it's like, the hustle and stuff. You don't expect a hustle from a fucking Hollywood kind of like, older but star that has to have this scrub set and hire scabs to work a production that really you should have just said, look, we can't do it. There's union's not going to do it. The production's down. But hubris, ego, these things make you push it forward so you can get away with it like you would in the 80s or 70s or 60s. No way, man. This is going to be. I'd love to see. This is now the story fascinates me because I want to see what the result is going to be in Hollywood.
The bottom line, when it comes down to it, is you took profit and product over people.
Yep.
And that's it. I mean, there's no other way to look at this. You could have realized this wasn't going to work, that there could have been the possibility, most likely, of something occurring. And you were way too old and way too in Hollywood for long enough to know that this could have ended badly. If people were walking out the day before and said that, you should have shut the shit down.
Right, and this isn't the first time he's had to handle a gun on set. He's been he's a veteran of the business now at this point, so it's ridiculous. The following we're going to play, guys, is from October 25th. I hate to jump with time, but it ties into this particular story, and so supposedly this got scrubbed from the replay, but I have whatever aired live right here, and so we're going to play a little of it. And to Howard's credit, I thought for sure he was not going to mention it because it's a friend of the court. You don't want to fuck with him. You don't want to possibly say something stupid.
But they scrubbed it from the replay, so don't give him too much credit.
Yeah.
I guess the big story over the weekend was Alec Baldwin's movie Rust. And the horrible shooting of this director of photography, beautiful woman, young woman, 42 years old, 9-year-old son, husband, the whole deal. And whether there was enough safety on the set, who was to blame, I feel horrible for all involved.
He doesn't hate it. He doesn't care about anybody. I love the human impersonation bullshit that comes at Howard acting voice, like oh God, this is horrible. This is terrible. I mean, guys, I'm sorry. For those of you who are listening to the podcast for the first time, trust me, we've been doing this now. We're old hands at this. We know when he's being disingenuous, and which is pretty much almost all the time.
This is coming from, by the way, this was the 3rd year anniversary of the Tree of Life synagogue shooting, and his wife, during that tragedy, posted on Instagram. She dug up a modeling picture of herself wearing a Pittsburgh Penguins hockey jersey and wrote, and she posted herself in this old modeling thing from the Pittsburgh Penguins jersey and wrote, "Oh, my heart goes out to all those. Here's a booking picture of me and my old modeling pictures. Feeling for everybody in my hometown of Pittsburgh." And it was just of herself. We'll insert it. It was the most. I have never seen something so narcissistic and out of touch in my life.
It doesn't even help. It doesn't even help that the smile on her face looks like an outtake from The Joker.
Oh, God. It's worse than I remember.
And the hashtag says Pittsburgh strong. Yeah, this is the exact quote. One of my modeling bookings when I was living in my hometown. I can't stop thinking about the victims and their families. Pray for them all. So you have to tie yourself into a tragedy by putting, this is the definition of tone deaf, guys. And it's all this Pittsburgh Penguins. It's all like from clearly a Pittsburgh. She was a Puck Bunny model. for the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Oh, God. But this is what Hilaria, if this didn't involve Alec, she would have been doing the same thing, because for breast cancer, this fucking lunatic put a pink streak in her hair, breast cancer, and she took a video and shirtless. She took her shirt off and got her hair cut with her breasts hanging out, her big fake breasts, and put a pink hair streak in her thing. And she did basically a documentary of her day of getting a pink hair streak. And that was her cancer awareness day. Fuck. Could you imagine for breast cancer, your big fake breasts that don't have cancer in everybody's face and flaunting it? And then your big reveal is a big slow motion hair wave for people with cancer who lose their hair. Fuck you.
I got to say, if Hilaria's tits are fake, she had a good doctor, because they look good to me.
Yeah, they're nice and fake and really proportionate.
Okay. Well, either way, we're surprised that actually Howard addressed it. And if it was scrubbed from the replay, that is unconscionable. But you got to know that has to come in from he's deciding after the fact, I don't want to have any kind of association with it. I don't want it being in the paper that I mentioned it, because I need that guy in as a guest, probably a Marcy Turk edict. Who knows? Either way, we're going to take you into our breakdown, guys. We'll do as much as we can. This is from June 23rd. And the first clip is called Wiggy. Wiggy Joel, Bang O'Clock Will Get You High Tonight.
On a song. I was up last night working on it, trying to get back into the whole music thing, Robin.
Yeah? Were you inspired by David Crosby yesterday?
Yes, I was. And I wrote about what I know best, which is bang o'clock, my favorite time of day when it happens. Bang o'clock. So I'm working on a new song called Bang O'Clock. I'll be debuting it here.
This is one of those things where over the years he's tried to make something viral, and there's something, it's just vile coming from him and completely unbelievable. So we'll leave it at that.
I got a rough track already, but quite good. Probably going to win a
What
Grammy.
came first, music or words?
Words, in this case. Mostly I work with music first, but this was different.
See, he's been going on about this fucking Bang O'Clock bullshit for so long now, and we still haven't heard anything.
I don't understand why he keeps trying to make Bang O'Clock happen. Still.
Yeah. Like hit him with the hind. That became a more recent thing. They want to remake Baba Booey as something viral, but Baba Booey was, I don't know, 30 years ago, really? 20 years ago?
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares anymore, and no one really cares. This is number 2. Count this on the list of guys Wigtardo doesn't know.
I went to prison, I'd be broke because I'd have to pay everyone every 10 minutes. But David was like, no, I kept to myself.
And he's addressing the David Crosby interview that we covered in the previous breakdown, obviously, guys.
But the prison forced David to shave off his mustache. I bet that was humiliating because that's his thing, that mustache.
Yeah,
I'm sure that's what David was worried about in prison.
His mustache, which is basically like a pillow for cock. I think that when Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young were putting their first album together, the thing that they worried most about was their hair.
His priorities, like when you're going to prison, the priorities are not facial hair.
Do you have a stylist in the prison?
Yeah.
The whole time you talk to him.
And he was in for a full year. I mean, I know guys who have been in prison and did a full year.
No, you don't.
I know, guys. He's talking about Gabby. I got to now Photoshop Wiggy as Andy Dufresne in solitary. I know people. Cabby did a year for tax evasion, and that's who he's talking about. I know people, but he doesn't mention him because he's been scrubbed from the internet. He's been scrubbed from the show. Guys, yeah.
Sounds like he makes it sound like he's some reformed mafia man or something.
He's Sammy the Bullshit Gravano. All of a sudden, Wig, he's going to start telling you how he was like, he was filming South Central and he knows all this.
And they get fucked up in there for a year. I mean, it is really hard. It is not easy to have your freedom taken away. And you think, a year, I can do it.
Look at how people reacted to COVID, and they weren't really locked up. They were still in their homes.
No.
Okay, and this next clip, Shawshank Solitary VIP only for NPD, Wiggerus, and Blobbin.
They went berserk. David was in solitary confinement for 4 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be inhumane.
I think I'd rather be in solitary confinement. It's not like I'm hungering to hang with other prisoners. You know what I mean?
I think I can get along without doing that.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? It's all guys. He'd be in fucking hog heaven. And I mean hog. He's like, can I do your laundry? Can I do your laundry? You want my dessert? I just need a couple
He'd
blowies.
be the sisters. He'd be like,
totally.
Sisters.
Yeah, absolutely. Hogs.
David had a drug problem. He wasn't like a criminal. Like he wasn't, I don't think he really wanted to schmooze with a guy who was in for armed robbery.
Okay. Okay, we're gonna play this one. This was optional, but I didn't know because it was when originally you clipped these. I didn't know if it was me and Raven that were going to cover these, so I said this one might be optional. Dr. 79 checking Crosby's belly for a pulse.
This is so great.
So they went to some documentary.
Yeah.
Basically saying, I forget what the third one was, but it was
I
bad.
think it was a heart condition, wasn't it?
Heart stents were in, and he says, look, I'm dying, and I'm going to die. And he was sitting in front of me, and he was sitting with his wife.
So they went to some documentary about David Crosby, and I guess he passed out in the movie theater. He was bored by his own life story.
It was really beautiful, I guess.
Yeah.
It was really, really fun.
Yeah.
And he was awfully quiet. I was just watching the back of his head, and his head started to kind of like drift. Maybe he he'd probably seen the documentary 97 times. So he was like, I don't know if he nodded off or, slept, not nodded off. But I don't know what was going on. But I said to my wife, I think David just died. She goes, what do you mean? I go, because I was being influenced by the movie. I said, look at me. I don't think he's breathing and he hasn't moved.
So all of a sudden, Wiggy MD is going to check him out.
I think he died during the premiere. Because the movie makes it seem like his death is imminent. And he's
open his pants and check for a pulse, Howard.
So I leaned over.
Quick, blow him back to life.
Mouth to hog resuscitation.
Breathing.
How do you do that in a movie theater?
Well, when the really bright scenes come on, you can kind of see what's going on. So I kind of moved forward just to see if his belly was moving and stuff.
Okay.
And it was.
So I waited until there was light from the movie to see if he was breathing.
That's a good friend.
Yeah.
Because Beth was already up getting a defibrillator, which she knows how to operate.
She almost shocked him.
Yeah. I was going to hit him with those electric paddles. See ya. He'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? I go, I don't know. I thought you died.
Back, dude.
Okay. Well, that's enough of that one, I think. Number 5, all the marbles will never buy back your soul. Stop counting Crosbys.
Tour right now, and it's the only way I can make money. And the bank is about to take away my house because I can't make the payments. And I went, holy fuck, David Crosby, one of the most successful rock stars in the world, doesn't have any money. I didn't know he still had his publishing. So, when he was on yesterday and he said, I sold my publishing to Irving Azoff, and he goes, yeah, I'm fine now financially. I've got more money than I need. I was like, oh, of course. There's got to be a way that David Crosby has.
Oh, phew. Thank God.
Thank God, one of my heroes who I almost let die in the theater because there wasn't enough light is going to survive. Okay, so this next one, guys, Ronnie, of course, is no longer on the show technically. Like he is back. He's in LA. He's in Las Vegas, but he's going to be making appearances every so often. I don't know if he's gone by this point, but I think he might have. It's 23rd. Has he gone yet? Or no? He left more recently.
So basically, he's just like a caller.
Yeah. So beating the geriatric sex horse carcass of Ronnie into the ground.
Tuesday show yesterday, Ronnie gave a listener a tip on how to shave his ass and balls. The fans are amazed that Ronnie is still so sexual at his age. I kind of am too. That like a guy.
No, we're not.
Shaving his balls.
No, there's what fan. If you check out Reddit, if you check out even the Howard Stern fan pages, that's the funny part. Some of our people at QF go onto the legit Howard Stern Facebook site, and there's so much negativity you can have no idea. They won't allow you to post pictures. Otherwise, I would flood it with my fucking Photoshops, but they won't allow that. Go figure.
When people, nobody is saying they're shocked about this. We've been hearing about it for over a decade about how Ronnie is sexed up still.
Yeah.
So what? Nobody's amazed. The sky is blue, water is wet. Ronnie likes sex.
Yeah, exactly. Then he'd be doing nothing but promoting these scores, and then after scores, it was what Ronnie. Ricky's club, Rick's Cabaret or whatever. Yeah. So I mean, this is not a surprise. It's just stupid.
I mean, good for him.
That was the other thing. David said it was over for him, and he's like 80. You think that's it for Ronnie when
Ronnie
gets 80?
Ronnie takes better care of himself than David did. David's got a lot of conditions. Ronnie didn't have any conditions, honestly. He's in pretty good shape.
Can you strip Ronnie? We want to see. Newsflash, number 7. Newsflash to the closeted 79. Most people love fucking.
Libido. I think Ronnie has very few interests other than sex. NASCAR and sex. That's his whole life. And I don't think there isn't a minute in the day that goes by that he's not bored until he's having sex. So all he does all day is think about sex.
Is wait for sex.
Right. I mean, if Ronnie's penis stopped working, I don't think there'd be much for him to live for. I really mean that.
As opposed to Wiggy, who, is fine jerking it to fucking twink porn on Pornhub or whatever.
Yeah, Howard, I think he'll express how much he doesn't care about it.
Yeah.
Like for Ronnie, it's bang o'clock 24/7. I mean, he's ready to go. He's just sitting around waiting for it. What 70-year-old man is consumed with shaving his balls and ass? Ronnie is a true...
Looks like you. You can't stop bringing it up on the fucking show.
Anomaly. It's true.
He probably didn't shave him when he was younger. He's gotten more involved with sex, I think.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Thanks, Robin.
Exactly. Thank you for that extra bit of visual. Number 8, Wiggy claiming fault for month versus month divorce. I love how Sam spelled it. MUNDT.
I don't know if that's right.
No, it's just MUND, but that's fine.
It is. I blame myself for Ronnie's divorce. That's true. I know it's me.
Well, I just know that Ronnie found a new life.
Yeah.
When
it's my
you
fault.
Started taking him to strip clubs.
Ronnie worships me and does pretty much whatever I do. I knew when I got divorced, Ronnie would be divorced a year or two later. I knew it.
Well, I didn't think that. I think that
Bob, Chicago Bob, this is for you, buddy.
I don't see Ronnie dressing in women's clothes for Christmas cards.
I don't see. Did you ever see that SNL sketch, the holiday candle?
No.
Basically, it's just the giveaway gift that the gift that you keep on giving. It's one of the newer clips. One of the newer clips that is actually one of the newer sketches that's actually funny. Check it out when you get a chance. But the idea that even if it's negative, I'm responsible for something in Ronnie's life. I need that.
Yeah.
I need that validation somehow. I'm this important that I caused his divorce. Why would you want to attribute yourself to that?
He's giddy about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And once he got in the swell of, going to these clubs with you and the doors thrown wide open and the girls crawling all over him.
Yeah.
That was it.
Even Robin's fucking sentences sound like they're full of chemo. I mean, she's slower and slower. It's ridiculous. Anyway, we'll keep on going, but fuck's sake, Ronnie, you wanted this guy for fucking clips endlessly for years, and now you're making a mockery of his life after he's basically off the show now because irritating.
And they've been divorced for how long?
Yeah, and actually I think I mentioned it in one of the last recordings. He had a farewell and his ex was there with the kids and the grandkid.
They have What about your marriage, Howard?
When's the last time you saw your ex? This one, let's see. You want to go where everyone knows your name. 79 murdering the Queen, the Cheers theme song.
Almost every day, and
that was where it was his Cheers. He was there with his group every night practice.
Yeah, it was like dun 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 dun. Ronnie hung out.
That's the Cheers theme.
That is not the Cheers theme song. We should play it for everyone, just to show them how off base he is.
I think everybody knows that fucking song by now. Jesus, that's that.
Your name. What was that? Swing music?
Next thing you know, Ronnie's throwing parties at scores, and I'm not even invited. I kind of grew out of it. I was seeing Beth. I was like, you know what? I got to get my shit together. I can't go out and hang out with these girls. You know what goes.
I can't hang out with these girls. There's too much vagina in the room. I'm getting woozy.
I gotta quit. I gotta quit.
It's not good for a relationship. So I'm out of the whole score scene. Now Ronnie becomes scores man.
Yeah, you think it would go away, but it kept going.
Next thing I know, guys,
it's not good for a relationship. His wife is passed out on the floor with a box of empty Lucky Charms.
And cats. She's meditating with cats on her chest, saying, "Stop filming me.
Stop filming me." Exactly.
Staff are going to Ronnie. Hey, Ronnie, I think we should have a bachelor party. Do you think he could arrange it? Yeah. Next thing I know, Ronnie's in charge of the funny money instead of me.
Call me.
Call me. We'll see what we can do. I'll see if I can get it together over there. Tell me what days you're available. Next thing I know, Ronnie's in charge of scores.
Yeah, all of a sudden you're thinking about parties you didn't even know were happening.
Well, you know what it was? It started because I go to Scores and talk about it on the air, so we started having, like, free parties over there.
Free parties.
See? So he can't even let the fun continue, even if he doesn't want to be a part of it. So he's mad. He doesn't even want to be a part of it, but nobody else can have fun now.
That's right. And the next clip leads us more into that. NPD Wiggy can't even handle letting Ronnie have a Scores memory.
No, it's like Ronnie and Jay, and Ronnie's corrupting some of the younger guys on staff. Not me, but Ronnie is. Ronnie's like now the man who holds the gate. And it doesn't even make sense because Lonnie used to throw the parties because I would talk about him on the air and Scores would get advertising in a sense. You know, we were using one another.
Yeah, you were. Exactly. I doubt he paid a single dime himself in that. Now, Richie, when we interviewed Richie Wilson recently, he said, no, we would tip, like, you know, real tips whenever we were, if they were ordering food or whatever, or, you know, there was a certain amount of funny money, but then we would also throw in. But I bet you Wig never threw in a fucking dime.
No.
Because he's one of those VIPs you take care of. You lose money on the Cristal or you lose money on the fucking bourbon or whatever it is, or whiskey. And then, you know, the hangers-on start spending their money. That's pretty much,
Well, I'm
I'd say,
sure
how it
Howard didn't eat a lot, and I'm sure he didn't drink a lot.
You don't think he got a few lap dances from a few guys? I mean, no, never mind.
Ronnie all of a sudden was getting parties, and there was no reason for them. It was making me mental.
I'm there every Friday night.
Yeah, I go over. The Friday night's my night over there. Oh, yeah, who was there? Oh, yeah, I ran into this one. Yeah. They got these new girls over there. I had to break them in.
Well, you had no problem with him being there until you weren't there, and then all of a sudden, fuck him.
All he does is yell. And all of a sudden, now he's touring like a touring comedian. What are you going to do?
Let's hear it!
I mean, wild. And then out of the blue one day, Ronnie shows up at John Hines' daughter's bat mitzvah with a 20-year-old girl or something. I don't know how
24.
old. 24.
Yeah, oh, my God. What an asshole.
Yeah, well, he is an asshole. Absolutely. I mean, what's the difference? Now, mind you, Ronnie is what, 40 years older than Stephanie?
Oh, look
Almost
at that.
40.
Look,
Well, it's what, 19,
I know.
19 years. It's you know, it's double.
Right, but I'm just saying, it's like, you have no place to talk.
Well, yeah, after a certain point, you basically both should shut the fuck up about it. I mean, yeah, he's way older than her, and he's way older than Beth. So what's the fucking difference?
And I'm sorry, Stephanie has a job.
But yeah, apparently, and that she's going to be working in Las Vegas as a vet technician.
Yeah, and she held a job this whole time, unlike, I don't know, kibbles and bits over there on the floor.
Ronnie shows up with a 24-year-old on his arm.
I thought she was, you know, one of...
Do you think Beth broke into the catnip?
The girls...
Yeah.
Oh, stop it.
I mean... Now, you know, Ronnie's still the man. Moving to Vegas because he's got all these new friends.
Oh, fuck off. This is, I just can't hear any more of that fucking...
Nobody can have friends. Sorry. You got to live in your house alone.
Exactly. Number 16 is a great clip. Irony alert. Holy fuck.
He asked me about Ronnie. I said, it's like a real-life Forrest Gump. I swear to God. Like, I saw Forrest Gump. That, to me, was a great movie, but it was unbelievable. Like, you know, you just didn't believe it. Ronnie's the real deal. And I mean it as a compliment. He is a real-life Forrest Gump.
Didn't he take a meeting?
Honestly, there's no one more Forrest Gump than Wiggy, who went through life ripping off other DJs and other fucking just about almost everybody throughout his career, and latching onto just falling into dumb luck and falling upwards and upwards and upwards. If you see the, for those of you again who are new to the show, I recommend absolutely going through, if you have the time to watch the video, it's supposed to most people on the go listening through MP3s and stuff. Check out our takedown of the Fox test pilot show, which is a 2-parter. And then also check out the, I think Sam recommended it, the Rescinding episode with Arsenio, the full version, as well as the video segment of it that's on YouTube. That's just pure Howard in full hapeless, unfunny glamour.
Racist.
Awful, unfunny shit. Number 17, Wiggy openly admitting to tanking Ronnie's actual Hollywood career. What people may not remember is that he was in an Adam Sandler film. I don't remember which one. It was just a bit part. He was just like an extra or a walk-on, you know.
It was like some scene where they were in a church. It was only like a few minutes.
Right. Did he even have a speaking part? I don't think so.
I don't know if he said one or two things.
I didn't see it, so all I know is that Sandler did, because this is after Sandler went in for the interview and he was okay with Howard, and or vice versa. And he was bitching and moaning for years about this afterwards, and months, like, oh, your boss Adam Sandler, he's coming in, and like, who says that except some jealous bitch?
And I think, just like we're going to hear in this clip, people were trying to give people jobs like in Hollywood on the Howard Stern show, because just like a lot of people do in Hollywood, oh, you're friends with so-and-so, I'm going to give you a part because of this. Like, I'm doing you a salad because that's how it goes, Mm-hmm. One hand washes the other. Like, Adam Sandler is known for giving friends of friends jobs. That's what he does.
Exactly.
Oh, he can be annoying. And I was working with him on AGT. I love the guy. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a funny guy. But, there are times he's a little too involved with you.
Uh-huh.
Like, there was a point where I was dressing a certain way, John Barbados, and then Howie started wearing John. So everything was getting a little too cozy.
He's talking about Howie Mandel, I believe. Mm-hmm. And then Ronnie, he was interacting with Ronnie, and he had to put a fucking stop to that.
And the next thing I know, Howie's now with Ronnie pitching a new show. And I'm like, Howie, can't you do your why are our worlds now enmeshed? Why are we one? I know we're on America's Got Talent together, but you're walking around with Ronnie? That's your idea for a show?
We're going to have to remember this clip for future reference when we redo the Carson show, because this is almost exactly the same way Bushkin explained his relationship with Carson and how he couldn't have other clients because Johnny would get jealous. He'd say, I'm not your number one focus.
It's horrible. I mean, he was going to have his own show with Howie Mandel. What if it was like some gitchy show that took off?
Yeah, and that had nothing to do with what Howard was doing. I mean, it was just a complete, the same way there's no conflict of interest because he's taping a show and you're doing whatever. Like, was there a conflict of interest between AGT and the radio show? No.
But it's the same way of like how he treated Artie when he was filming Beer League or some, you can't do anything else except for serve the master.
That's right. And don't ever fucking, because he doesn't want them getting ahead of themselves. He doesn't want them getting ahead in the business. He doesn't want them enjoying life, basically. So, that's a welcome to QF, guys. Hold on. Let me see this part here.
Once a week.
Mm-hmm.
Thing for me. I think it's, it's a lot more comfortable to me, actually. Yeah, but still, even if you, it's a hygienic thing for me. I think it's,
Okay, so they're talking more about that taint shaving and bullshit, like Ronnie and his dingleberries. That's what we want to hear from a 71-year-old.
It's good.
It's more comfortable to me, actually, especially when you take a dump and you're wiping your ass. You get much cleaner too.
This is evolved.
All that hair back there, if you have a lot of hair in your asshole, you don't get all the remnants out when you're wiping your ass, even with like baby wipes. It's hard to get it all out.
Guys, whoever said this show wasn't educational?
Oh.
When you move to Vegas, if you get bored, you should open up like an ass barber shop, like where people could go and Ronnie will shave you out.
Yeah, that's an original. Yeah. Yeah.
Hire Jackie back.
I hope Amy Schumer steals that one. Number 19. No Hitler pubes for King Baby Beth. Shave that dusty motherfucker.
Now, some girls have like a little bit of...
I fell off his chair.
Sounds like he's drowning.
Okay.
No, you put on a porn to make some girls are starting to like have like that, you know, like in the pubic area they have a little square, and I don't even like that.
A square.
You know, like a little
like a triangle.
Triangle, yeah. Like a Hitler mustache.
Like
PJ,
rather than shave, they've trimmed.
Yeah. Not good. It's not a good look. PJ, you're on.
But I'm speechless. Well, a mustache. Notice how he said a mustache.
So is it a cross? When he said must, because you know, I know landing strip. I get that, but shouldn't he have just said that if that's what he meant?
Happy Halloween. I don't know.
Jesus Christ. Okay, number 20. Elton John had a more convincing beard, for fuck's sake.
Beth is the greatest lover of all time. I'm very sad. I know she's got to be satisfied with me. She is open to anal. The other night she stuck a big tomato in my ass. And
she's open to your anal.
She's open to my anal. She's actually not open to my anal. Beth, I don't think Beth would mind me saying that she is not. I mean, it's not her thing. Let's put it that way, okay?
What is... Doesn't the thumpering kind of make it seem as though like he really is talking about, I want stuff in my ass?
They're not fucking.
No. What's he putting, a scratch post up his arse?
And it's not my thing, really, so it's fine. What we do is just perfect. So
well, that's not an everyday occurrence for me either. You know, that's a special occasion.
It just happens. It happens.
Yeah, and I think Ronnie has made it clear that a lot of times what he calls anal, he just takes his penis and rests it between Stephanie's cheeks.
God.
So when anybody defends this show and says it's evolved, please spare me.
Yeah. This is going to be number 23, vagina grooming tips from the Barca Lounger, former newswoman.
And all that. It's, you know, we've heard that Robin's sex life hasn't been the greatest, and I'm just curious, is she still shaving her vagina down? Nothing?
Of course she is. Still shaving your vagina, right, Robin?
Yeah, I mean,
she has two handlers holding the folds back while she gets down there. Come on.
Not be, you know, as I used to get waxed, you know, like I used to do that, but now I'm shaving.
You're shaving and you're fastidious. In other words, you're.
But you know, the wax is really, you know, like they really get in there.
Good.
I guess you can't afford to go, or it's like it's COVID. You can't be getting waxed regularly.
I can't.
Yeah,
let's keep going.
At least she's shaving. Yeah, she's. You know, a lot of people have gotten lazy.
In the pandemic, you're not waxing.
She's 68. Somewhere down the line, you got to give it up, and you go, it's not worth it.
Why are we even asking? You're fastidiously shaving. I'm 68 years old. Leave me alone.
Exactly.
I live alone with some cats.
Okay, Robin, number 24. Robin passes the 79 stank test from a guy who's never seen a box up close.
She's a lovely lady, and she's a lady with a capital L, if you understand what I'm saying, men.
No, we don't.
Herself, she never has an odor. I've worked with her. How many years? I'm like 40 years.
She smells of regret.
She only smells like cheeseburgers when she's hiding from us being a fake vegan.
Who's eating a bagel?
Never had an off day. Even during her menstruation, I never detected.
What? She's 68.
Or anything. She is a lady with a capital L.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. Number 26, shoehorning in trans, cock, and gay into the whack pack any possible way to keep King Baby satisfied.
So she's really tall.
Yeah, for a girl.
Does she say, "Oh Gonzo, I love you"?
Okay, enough of this. All right, Gonzo's not interested in you, Eric. He says he's heterosexual. His girlfriend he thinks of as a woman because she is a trans female, okay?
Because we had already gone into, so it was Gonzo. They didn't say it was Gonzo in that first, the episode previous. Now they're outing him as Gonzo. They can't even keep up with their own bullshit. It was meant to be a regular caller, but now, okay, fair enough.
You got it?
And then, of course, it used to be Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
That he was obsessed with. That didn't, or Donnie Wahlberg.
Donnie Wahlberg.
Me.
Yep.
Oh, God, it's so bad.
It is horrible.
All this time and just never said anything?
Well, after that call the other day, I thought maybe Gonzo might be interested in me.
Oh.
No, I tried to hook me a couple of times before. Like, we shared a hotel room.
Fucking idiots. And people called it. In the last breakdown, I didn't know who it was, and they said it must have been Gonzo. But I thought Gonzo sounded way different when he called into the Artie show. Maybe he's a more talented voice actor than I realized. Number 27, 79 just can't help himself. More trans talk with Gonzo and high pitch. Do we want to play this?
Yeah.
And I don't know what to make of this. The fact that now you've sucked dick. Maybe whatever you want to call it was a
let's
penis.
call it Lady Dick. How about that?
Lady dick. All right, now that you've sucked lady dick.
That's offensive. That's offensive.
What do you mean that's offensive? It's a penis.
It's not offensive. It's lady dick.
She doesn't have it's not a dick. That's like her vagina. I consider that like her clit. It's not.
But wait a second. How big is her clit? How many inches?
Jesus Christ.
Keep going. Get better.
It's like 4. It's not big at all.
All right,
that's
so
another
it's a
reason.
4-inch clit.
Yeah, ish.
Okay. Yeah. All right. And you put it in your mouth, right? And you sucked on it.
Oh, he's loving this so much, Fillmore.
Yeah.
Keep going.
He's a righty.
Spank bank.
Spank bank completely.
Do you think? I don't know. I'm exploring this with you.
We sure.
No, yeah, we know. We know what you're doing.
Comfortable way for you to get into sucking on dick.
No, I don't. I'm not a cocksucker. I don't like sucking dick. I don't. That's a.
This sounds like he wrote the script and he's ready to direct the fucking movie and star in it. Myra Breckenridge. Jesus Christ, guys! How much more info do you need?
The disturbing levels are so many.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
That's gross to me. I mean, to me, I'm not turned on by that. I'm a heterosexual man. I like going down on girls. I like, I don't consider it sucking dick when I'm going down.
I don't want to insult you. I'm just trying to find out. I swear.
Okay, so the next one.
Yeah, but I'm going to insult you.
Sam clipped all these. Goodness gracious, Lady Paul's on fire.
Porous, as you call it. And when you're sucking her clitoris, did you play with her balls?
What do you call those?
And what are those?
It's a little late now, guys, but here's the PSA. Be careful. There's some trans talk coming up.
and they're aren't they so respectful to the trans community?
I was gonna say there are gay people listen to our show that they know we're not homophobic and all that shit, but they're telling you they're offended by his gay talk because it's pandering. It's really like turning it into a circus show. And then this trans stuff, if you're trans, you should be offended as well, because it's just like you're not actually treating that particular community like normal people.
He's treating him like a whack packer.
Exactly. Absolutely. Treating trans like fucking Eric the Midget or whoever the fuck, or, Bigfoot or whatever. So, yeah. And at the end of the day, that's what most people would get upset with. Just ask a trans person the same questions you'd ask someone else. What movies have you seen? Whatever the fuck. No, we got to go in about, her clit. Her dick is her clit. I call it her clit.
What do you call her balls?
Fucking Christ.
How do you, I mean, what do you do with those balls?
Well, she's a trans girl, so I just went down on her like you would go down on a trans girl, and just I licked around the area like Howard, like when you go out on a woman, like you lick around her vagina area and her leg.
He wouldn't know. Don't ask him.
Didn't you hear that sound? He's like, oh, whoops.
Yeah, no salmon. Now, here's the thing. Do you remember when Lego, like big Lego sets, when you open them up and the pieces are all in a plastic bag, they come with the instructions, but the instructions are entirely visual?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think Wiggy wants this to look like. He's got to have that visual Lego spank bank of how to put this fucking like deviant conversation together visually in his head so he can fucking whack it to. When we say spank bank, guys, we are not joking.
Yeah, no, he needs this for later.
Yep.
And stuff and like your ass. Like that's what I did. It's not gay.
I'm not putting it down. I'm just trying to define what's going on here. Like, listen, let's call it clitoris and lady balls, if that's what you're more comfortable with.
No, that's what you're comfortable with, clearly.
It's all for him.
Yep.
I don't like
did you lick the lady balls? Is that okay? I don't want to be offensive.
He said no, you didn't listen, and you're just keeping on calling them lady balls.
Yeah.
Technically, I did lick her testicles, yes. But I consider that like her vagina. That's like, I went down on her. I'm not going to admit to
Don't turn him off by calling it vagina. Come on, man.
Oh, and he's been so calm, and you guys are the one pressing him. You're not listening. You're gaslighting him.
Yep.
Attacking you.
You are.
I'm just clarifying.
Take it easy.
I don't.
This one is called Gyno Wigtardo knows lots of trans.
I'm surprised she let you lick her lady balls, and I'll tell you why.
Oh.
And let's not even say lady balls. Maybe that's it. Let's not even say that. Let's say you licked her ovaries or whatever. Let's call it something.
What ovaries?
What?
Balls.
Body.
That's right. A
down.
Yeah, I couldn't even understand that. I guess, Jesus, girls, I didn't know this. I'm 46 years old. I didn't know for your entire lives, your ovaries are outside your body, man.
You better hope, Beth, you never get ovarian cancer.
You went down on her. Let's just say that. I'm surprised she would let you do that, because most people who are transsexual that I know that are pre-op, in other words, they don't have the vagina yet.
Do you know anybody who's pre-op, post-op, any trans? Anybody?
No.
None that you're aware of, obviously. No.
Yeah,
me neither.
I know people who are drag queens, but I don't ask them if they're pre or post-op. And they have never willingly told me.
I'm saying, how close a relationship would you have with these people? Or do you just know them the way?
I just know them from knowing them, from I see them out in the city, or I see them when I go out.
I'm saying you don't break bread with them.
No.
Okay.
But not
the way he's saying it suggests he goes for tea with these people, or he goes for coffee and shit.
Yeah, he doesn't know these people. He doesn't have conversations with trans people pre and post-op. That doesn't happen. He doesn't even invite people in his house. And from every conversation we've had, he's been trying to avoid social interactions forever. In the pandemic, he's gotten mad when he's been invited to any sort of dinner.
That's right.
Don't even like showing their penis and balls. I know a lot of people who are transsexual.
A lot of people. Why would you admit that? Why would you admit that? A, because it's so incongruous with your so-called image, but you don't come up with names again. It's one of those, Jesus, the army of people. If he took all the people he knew, all the friends he had, they could overthrow any country.
God, you better call up Tula, the transsexual that you basically put back into hiding.
Yep. That's an amazing story, actually. One day we may, if we find enough of the clips, because I have a lot of the older stuff, we may go through that and see if that's worth a deep dive, or even a Patreon thing, because the article you sent me about Tula was fascinating, about the backlash as a result that she received.
Oh, he mentally scarred her. She was all excited to come back out into her career full force, did his show, and he mentally scarred her so bad she went back into hiding.
Yeah.
They don't even like showing their balls or penis to any guy. I'm surprised she let you go down on her.
Okay. Number 30, 100% straight stylist to the stars. Ralph Sorella gives his due shench.
Please, somebody explain to us what's
Here's
going
an
on.
expert. This is an expert.
I'm looking for an explanation, because I can't figure how in the world you go down on a guy and
not a guy,
you suck a guy's dick and lick his balls and say you're 100% straight. I mean, it's no offense. I mean, it's fine, but you can't sit there and say you're 100% straight. I mean, maybe 50% straight.
The Evolved Howard Stern Show is now calling a transsexual, which we are all supposed to now say, if they're a trans woman, they're a woman.
Yeah.
They identified as a woman.
Right.
Now we have Ralph Sorella calling up and saying, you sucked a dick. You sucked a guy's dick. You're gay. Yeah. Wow. That seems very evolved and woke of you.
So Ralph, who has admitted he's bi, is that also bullshit? And he's not bi. He's actually gay? According to that logic?
That would be correct.
Okay. Now I got it. Thanks, Ralph.
You have to be gay. Chris, if I was gay,
this one is called, by the way, the Sorella giggle gives the game away.
I would go fuck a guy. I wouldn't fuck a hot woman that I assumed was a biological woman until I.
But maybe you're more comfortable. Maybe you're more comfortable with a woman with a cock. That's what I think he's saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. They know what they're talking about. They know exactly what he's talking about. Yeah. I don't think we need more of that. Gonzo, clap back on Barry Boy. I like this one.
You're not 100% gay. Maybe you're bi, but you did a gay act. And what is...
That's wilding, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So wrong with admitting that? What is so wrong with admitting that, Gonzo? It's crazy.
You mean, in other words, calling a penis a clitoris is ridiculous, is what you're saying?
Of course it is. And if he's being serious about that, it's outrageous. What is the big deal with being? What if you are a cocksucker, Gonzo? What's the big deal with being a cocksucker in 2021 in Pride Month?
Chris,
what is the big deal?
I think you need to coach Ralph. I'm not the gay one here. I'm one.
Play a little more.
100%.
I licked Chris's clit. Thank you.
I swear to Ralph's
man, though.
Well, I mean, don't say sucking. Don't say, but what he's saying is, don't suck a woman's dick and then say sucking a man's dick is gross. You understand?
Yeah, and it's not a clit.
I'm not saying it's gross. I'm not saying it's gross.
A clit is a scientific word, a medical word. It's a thing. You don't have to put.
Oh God! Now the PhD holders come out into play. Do we need to play more of that?
No.
Okay. Welcome to the Howard Quivers Show. Fantastic. Another original Wiggy on the fly.
On the fly.
Yeah, bomb. Guys, thank you guys so much for sticking through this one. If you have a problem with the earlier content, this is just a special thing we decided to throw in as an extra. We've been planning to do something Baldwin related, but this just became like a perfect opportunity to talk a little bit about the mishigash that is his life right now. And again, we feel bad for the people that are now left without a mom and a wife, and that's it's a tragedy in any world. So our prayers out to her family, and we're going to keep track of the story, and we may do little updates every so often. So if you enjoyed it, please tell us.
All right, guys. See you later.
Have a good one, guys. Take care. We love you.
If you went through the most incredible metamorphosis and somehow transformed yourself into the best person you're capable of being, and you and Lisa G, after that metamorphosis took place, were on the top floor of a burning building, and it's just you two, and God told Lisa, I will give you the ability to fly if you kiss John the Stutterer, she would say no.
I know.
Well,